Hello everyone. I want to do a word card today, and our word for today is peace, and I will be referencing the word peace in God's perfect peace from John 16:33, and it's from the Passion Translation. And everything I taught you is that peace which is in me will be in you and will give you great confidence as you rest in me. For in this unbelieving world you will experience troubles and sorrows, but you must be courageous, for I have conquered the world. So, there is our peace. So, let's get started. I'm going to try a new technique here. Let's pull this in a little bit. I am going to take some acrylics and try and water them down a lot to try and get them to act like watercolors but still be permanent. So I have Key West and King's Gold. Let's see how this works. And I made my own word card using these stamps. I got these off of Amazon, and they're just by Concord and Ninth. They are the sophisticated script stamp set. I might want to add some texture. So I have some old towels and some paper towels. My card is gessoed. I just used a crocodile on the end, which is cloud. That's the punch. And I did it for this card also so that it fits perfectly there. I made my own tag just out of a smaller index card. So I'm going to move these out of the way and let's get started on this. And I just have an old Tupperware lid that I'll use. So let's see what happens. I'll lay some acrylic down. I'll find a nice old paintbrush and I'll spritz this with some water, but I'll also spritz my card with some water because I want the paint to move. I mean, I know it's not watercolor paper, but that's fine. Not everybody can afford watercolor paper. I know I can't. Watercolor paper is crazy expensive, but that's fine. So I'll turn this a little bit, get the water moving, and I'll try and pick up some more, lay down a little more. See if we can get it to move. Because for peace, I don't want a very harsh background. When I think of peace, I think of relaxing, things like that. All right, so let me lay it down here. I just want it a little bit darker here. Pick up some more, just a little bit darker here and here. Pick up some of this water. I'll just spritz it a little bit. Now I know when I mix the King's Gold, I might get a green, but it's fine. I mean, it's a mixed media page, or a card, I'm sorry. So let's see what happens here. And I'll add some water. I'll rinse this out really good. Just grab an old towel. Get the blue out first. And then I'll mix this up. So I'm just mixing it up with some water. I want it very fluid. so that when I put it down, it'll move. So I'm going to wet my card again, and I'm just going to grab a paintbrush here. Excuse me for my reach. I'm going to plop it down and hold it. I'm going to flick some of the paint on here. And let some of this move around a little bit. I'll turn it over. Let me dry this. We'll be right back. All right, I dried it some. I'm going to set that off to the side so that it can cool off. Now, to tie my part in, I'm just going to add some of this paint on here. And I'll let that over there, and I'll pick up some of this, put it on there, because I'll drop in some blue on top of this. Just because, why not? These are not gessoed though, so you got to be careful. You can't add too much water. All right, so let me wipe that off and see where we're at. Now, let me grab the blue real quick. Just put a drop. I'm just gonna dab up the paint and just flick this paint. And it doesn't matter if it got on the letters, because I can fix those letters once it dries. And I will let this move some. And I don't want to waste this, so I might as well add some to these. Now, I might move a little bit of this blue around. So that when it dries, I can pick some of that up and move it over here. Put some in this corner. Add some more color to this over here. It's just very wet. Very wet. And when I dry it, hopefully it looks like watercolor. Okay, these are dry. And all I did was take a brush marker. It can be any one, just make sure it's permanent, or you can even use a Sharpie, and just went back over the word. And now that'll tie in nicely. We're going to get it to separate from everything, but all right, so let's do some background work on this. I want, let's see, this is the stamp set I got from Amazon. I believe it was $7.99. And we are going to take some more of the King's Gold and use it as a stamping color. I just have to figure out which one I want. I think I'll go with this one right here. I'm not going to put it on a stamping block. I do need to run it against my hand so that it's not so brand new and the paint and everything just pill on it. So some of the your dry skin will help it become better at picking things up. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'll use, I have a mat right next to here, an old piece of baking sheet, and I'll just put that down. I'll take another old paintbrush and I'll spread it out some, and I may just use my paintbrush. It all depends how fast this wants to dry. So I'll pick it up, take it, I'll pick some up, and I'll come over here and I'll lay it down, and then I'll pick it up. See? I don't know if the lighting's very good, but we'll do the best we can. I'll come back, pick up some more, come over here, put some down, and I'll come in here. And there you go. That's the texture we have. Let me see if I can fix the light. Well, I don't know. Hopefully that's better, but there's the texture that we put on with the bubble stamp. All I have to do is get a baby wipe and wipe that off real quick. I hope that's better. And then for the blue, I'm going to use this one. So let's grab some blue over here on my mat. And I'll run this across my hand. My hands are very dry. Put that back in, and I'll grab a small paintbrush again and move the paint around. I'll just lightly brush this on, but I want enough to where it shows up, and I'll go vertical. I like that. I'll pick up some more paint. I'll throw it down, because you really don't need ink when it comes to stamps. You can use paint. You just have to be diligent in getting the paint off first before it dries. I like that. So I'll come over here and do this one. And I'll grab my word, and I'll actually go horizontal with it. And then this, I'll go vertical just to get the rest of the paint off. And go over here. And I'll just put it down in the paint just to pick it up real quick. And I'll go vertical again. If there's any left. I'll try and pick it up. May not work. That looks good. All right. Boy, that's blinding, isn't it? All right, so what I'll do with this is first I'll clean this paint off. And because this one has such fine details in it, I'll take it, I'll put it down, I'll get a water bottle, and I'll soak it really good so that as I'm wetting it, it's going to push all the paint out of the little crevices. Now I'll move it, flip it over, push it down, drag it across there, drag it across there, come over here, and just fold it inside the towel to get as much of the paint out as I can. That way, when I want to use it for ink, there's no paint stuck in the crevices of the fine details of the stamp. All right, so let's see. Now let's put this together. Let's see what else we want to do with this. Because what I'm going to do, I would normally glue this. Maybe I can do the same corner as this. Give me 1 second. Okay, here's what I used. It is a crocodile corner chomper. And the top looks like that. But here's the sides. You have a scallop and a cloud. I used a cloud on this, so I'll open this cloud back up. I'll come up here to this corner. And that way, it has a little bit of difference. But I know this, everybody's always like, it needs something black. How about some black splashes? Or white splashes? Which one? Because I'm going to do a border, so we'll do white splashes. How's that? Ooh, that's not good. Oh well. I'll just open it up and put the majority of it back in. Because we don't need a ton of it. There must have been an air pocket. Because I am now wearing it. Oh, that's alright. I'll just wipe it off. It's paint, it washes off. Alright, so I'll add a little bit of water. Mix it up, make it nice and fluid. Make sure I've got it all mixed. And you know, this is what I find when I do white splashes. I need another paintbrush. Oh, and I just did that, so that's alright. I can do it again. Yeah, that's a blob. That's all right. That's good enough. I'll clean that up. Let me dry this. We'll be right back. Let me show you first before I dry it. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just get any old stapler. And I'm going to line up my corner here where I did the corner chomper. And I'm just going to come to the edge and staple it. Normally I would glue it, but I don't have that much time to wait for a glue to dry. So I will just come in and staple it. Now, like I said, we're going to use some black. This is just a piece of junk mail. I'm just trying to get it to behave nicer. You know what? I don't need it anymore. How's that? Let's move you in a little bit better. We'll come into the big bucket of markers. And I think I'll use this very old Cane Company Smash. It came with a Smash book. Like, ooh, 7 years ago? 8 years ago? Something like that. So I want to put a border on this one first. So I'll come in and just do, I don't know, some lines and some circles just to break this apart from this. And I can just keep going around it. Like that. And I can, because my card wants to curl up, just do some squiggly lines. I just let the pen do whatever. I'm not looking for perfection. Nothing is ever perfect in life. Our piece isn't even like ultimately perfect. The only thing perfect in this world was our Father. Now, let's see. Okay. This is a stencil I got from Dollar Tree, and they're birds. Excuse me. I wanted something else on here. And to me, birds are very peaceful. So, let's stencil a bird on here. And I think I'll go right here. Okay, I just have a very old makeup brush that I use for this, and I want to be careful not to get the other birds, so I will just be very careful. And that's not working out too great, but I need a smaller stencil. Unless I put it back, and I take a paintbrush and just pick it up and just paint it from the outside in. I think that's working better because I have more control over where my paint is going, and I actually like that better. There we go. And let's see, I'll do one right here. That's kind of, no, right here is good. I'll come from the outside in. You can make them any color you want. I decided to put white. There's that one. And I'll put one right over here. I hear my big puppy outside my door because I have my door shut. I just hold it down firmly, and as you see, all I'm doing is tapping the brush up and down and just keeping it right where it's at. Yeah. That looks good. I like that. Okay, I went ahead and stamped the verse and I wrote that out. I have some very old lace. You can buy stuff like that at Michael's or at thrift stores or even off of old clothes. And I'll take this lace and I'll just staple it onto my card. And I will write the verse on the back of here. And if there are more verses in the Bible, I will put them on the back of here. But this verse, I will write on the back of this card. And I will put it in there. You can keep going with these scripture cards. You can do so much more. I could highlight the birds with a blue marker or a black point pen. But here is our word card for the day, which is peace. I hope that everyone has an amazingly beautiful day. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Take care. God bless. Bye for now.